All right, y'all. So I want to take this time to discuss the potential matchup between Mayweather and McGregor. I believe that it could happen, and this is maybe why it didn't happen. Now, Mayweather and McGregor has been back and forth in the media lately. You know, Mayweather's been saying don't compare McGregor to him because they're not the same, which is fact. They are not the same, and you know what I'm saying? They haven't. McGregor's still trying to prove himself and whatever, blah blah blah. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is how this fight may happen. Now, the only way I can see this fight happening is if McGregor cuts himself away from the UFC promotion. Okay, which could eventually may lead to that. McGregor is starting to now see that see the value and what he brings to the table to the UFC. Okay, now he's asking for part ownership of the UFC because of what he's bringing. He's a superstar, things in that nature. In a similar fashion with Floyd Mayweather when he was with Top Rank, either it was Top Rank or Golden Boy, I can't remember exactly, but if you know the story, then you get the comparison. He now is asking for more money. His last fight against Alvarez, that was the first time in UFC history, I believe, that anyone was guaranteed $1 million. Okay, that's guaranteed. So him asking for $100 million against Floyd Mayweather is ridiculous. Okay, McGregor there's been numerous occasions that McGregor has threatened to leave the UFC, which would be a big blow to the UFC because of how much he brings. Like, I believe they sold like over 1 million pay-per-views within the last fight. So he brings in a lot. He brings in a lot of money to the UFC, and now he's asking for part ownership, things of that nature. But his legacy will be, tainted seriously if he goes in there and fight Mayweather and loses, which is exactly what's going to happen. That's why he's asking for $100 million. But here's what I think McGregor should do. He doesn't need the UFC. Okay, if he wants to fight Floyd Mayweather, he does not need the UFC. McGregor should finish his obligations with the UFC. Okay, cut the UFC because he doesn't need the UFC. If he takes this fight against Floyd, $50 million is enough money for him to retire and sit down for the rest of his life. Okay, look how he's living now with $1 and $2 million paydays. Okay, 50 million. He would not make that within his entire UFC career. He would not see $50 million. Okay, that's not gonna happen. McGregor should cut his ties with the UFC. He's a star on his own, and that's the same as Floyd. They're not the same, but the situations are similar. Okay, that's what he should do. Get his ass whooped, because that's what's gonna happen. Get your ass beat and retire, because you no longer need the UFC. You are a superstar. Okay, you've already made history. Okay, you're a champion in 2 divisions. Okay, end it while you can. Like, don't fight for all the time because you will lose. McGregor should cut his ties with the UFC. Finish his obligations. Okay, finish what you need. How many more fights, champions you need to fight. Finish that. Keep the offer on the table with Mayweather with this fight. Take the $50 million. That is enough money for you to sit down on. Yes, you may want to maximize your profits, but fuck, dude, you don't need the UFC. And the reason why I just think that the reason why he didn't take the $50 million is because there are other entities that would be taking in his purse. But if he cuts the UFC, does his own promotion within the Mayweather McGregor fight, then he'll make a lot of money. Like, it more of the proceeds would be for him. But that's just what I believe. Let me know what you think. I think the fight's still possible, but maybe without Dana White in the UFC. Okay, McGregor is his own star, and he's starting to notice that, and that's why he's asking for these proceeds and these partnerships with the UFC. But let me know what you think. Itchy Boxing. I'm out.